Hi guys, how's it going? My name's Madison, in case you didn't know. Hope that you're having a great day so far. So, today I was watching Binging with Babish, and he uploaded a video to his series called Basics with Babish. And if you watch him, you know what that is, but if you don't, it just means that he is like teaching kind of like more basic cooking techniques as opposed to something like more... A lot of his videos are like in depth. So these are just the ones that are like super quick and you get to learn something without all the fluff. So, in light of that, he just uploaded pasta al limone, and I really want to make that. I've never made that before, and I've also never made pasta from scratch before, so I figured, why not do it with you guys? It sounds super fun. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it, and we can just learn this together. It honestly looks super freaking easy, so if you are, wanting to make fresh pasta and you think that it's like super hard, honestly, it's really not. I haven't done it before because I just never got there. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so the things that you need for the pasta are all-purpose flour and eggs. In his video, he uses 3 eggs and some sort of amount of flour. It looked like to be like maybe like 2 or 3 cups. He put a lot on the board, but he didn't use all of it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my rings. And yes, I do have fingernail polish on. I'm the only one that's gonna have this pasta, and I don't care if I eat fingernail polish, to be honest. So if that bothers you, please don't say anything. Just go away. I want you here, but not if you're negative. And I just washed my hands as well. Just gonna put flour here. And the reason I have less eggs than what he was doing is because I'm just gonna make less pasta. So I think that about this much flour, I would say this is like honestly, this looks like 2 cups, so he may have used like 4. You also need a fork. Forgot about that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crack the eggs in here. And on the other one, I'm actually only gonna use the yolk, or the yolk, however you wanna say it. Whoopsies. I'm just gonna use mostly the yolk and just take out some of the white. And then, whoopsies. Oh no, it's over. It's supposed to be more finesse than that, but here we are. I'll just put some flour over here. Anyways, what you're supposed to do is create a boat in the middle. I just accidentally messed up my little thing I had going on here. And you mix it with the fork until it is like no longer liquidy, and that way you can grab it with your hands and not have to be like having super, super wet hands. That is so funny. I cannot believe I just did that. Oh my god. See, it's like, it doesn't matter though, like it is what it is. And this is like a fun video. This is not really me like necessarily teaching you guys stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this off here. And I'm gonna bring the other parts that I moved. And if you guys hear little noises, Mitzi is in here with me. I spent the night at my boyfriend's last night, so she was alone. I need to spend some time with her. Anyway, so you just incorporate enough flour to where it's not feeling like pudding. I feel like that's good, honestly. I'm gonna put that and scooch this over here. And then you just wanna knead it. He said that he kneaded his for like 7 minutes, so if you need me, I'll be here. It was bothering me to have all that stuff on the counter, so I just bench scraped it really quick because it was killing me. I don't think you really have to, but I was like dying. Anyways, so I'll just be here kneading this for 7 minutes. Still kind of sticky. I'm gonna put a little bit more flour in here. Like whenever you're at this point of kneading, I told you guys I'm not teaching you, but I'm gonna teach you a little bit anyway. I can't help it. Anyways, when you're at this stage of kneading, it shouldn't really be sticking to your hands. And the reason that I'm saying that is because before I learned about kneading and everything, like it was just so confusing, and they'd just be like, yeah, you just keep kneading and kneading, especially whenever there's like not a distinct amount of flour like how it is in Babish's video. So it's kind of ambiguous, and ambiguity with cooking is sometimes frustrating whenever you're like beginning a recipe because you're like wanting it to work. I'm sure I'm triggering someone with like the way I'm kneading this. But yeah, I just wanted it to be a little bit richer, which is why I just used like mostly the yolk. Some of that egg white got in there, but it's okay. The reason that we're kneading this so much is to make sure that we get gluten development, because the gluten is what gives breads, noodles, that's what's gonna give it the chew. That's why like Asian-based dishes, that's why their noodles are so delicious, because they need their noodles forever. And that's why you don't like overmix cake and stuff like that, because flour develops gluten really quick, especially for a cake. And that's why there's such a thing as like 00 flour. Just means like absolutely, in cake flour, just no gluten. Wow, this turned out beautifully. Wow, I can't believe this. Cool. Certainly got my arm workout for today. I'm actually off for like, so I worked for an hour yesterday, but I get paid the whole day. Worked for an hour, and then I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just go back on Sunday. All right. Okay, so what he said in the video is that it's ready once it springs back, and it is springing. In his video, I saw this and I was like, what does he mean? But if you push it, if you can kind of see from the side, you can see that it kind of springs back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this in plastic wrap, and he said just let it hang out on the counter for like 30 minutes so that it can rest, because we just developed all of that gluten, and we don't want the chewiness to be tough. We want it to have bite, but we don't want it to be tough. You want it to be nice and supple. So it's just gonna hang out, and we will move on to the next thing in a second. Apparently I'm gonna have to start filming with my glasses on because I have you guys pretty far away right now. So hopefully the sound is alright. At some point in time I will get like a mic and all that, but that time is not now. So let's go ahead and get all of this stuff together that we need. So you definitely need some sort of heavy bottomed, high sided kind of like saute pan. This is a pan from Cuisinart that I got as a gift from, not from Amazon, but it was on Amazon. From FedEx on Amazon. And I love this one because it has a handle right here. So for people that aren't very strong, like me, and I'm like, this. And then you also need a high-sided pot like this one. I just have water in here right now because we're going to be boiling pasta at some point in time. My dough is still hanging out over there. I also have a knife, 2 cloves of garlic, and then I also have a microplane so that I can zest this lemon in just a little bit. And then for the juice of the lemon, I have one of these little like press juicer things. Since we're using the zest of the lemon, you definitely want to give this a super good wash. Honestly, most of it is going to be killed whenever we cook it, but I just want to say that just in case someone thinks that people are out here washing their lemons. We're washing our lemons. And then I also have gruyere here because I don't have Parmesan cheese. I don't really like Parmesan cheese. I think it is very astringent. So I am gonna grate some of this. I'm super excited to go ahead and get into everything. And you need some sort of grater for the cheese. And then I also have a set of tongs. These are silicone at the tip because this pan is anodized metal. And it's still super scratchable. And I want to keep it pristine. If you have a metal pan, you can use whatever tongs you want. Okay, so I moved you guys down a little bit so that the lighting will be better to see this. I guess I'm doing this Babish style where you can like barely see my head. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is slice this garlic. And I like to keep my trash can right next to me while I'm cooking. It makes it a lot easier. I also have the kind of trash can that's square, so it sits right up next to the wall. Highly recommend. Mitzi's making some noises. So I just went ahead and cut off the butt so that I could peel this easily. If you don't like garlic, you can make this recipe, but it's kind of a spin on pasta alla olio. So it's kind of like that's really just garlic. Anyway, so you just want to slice this thin. The proper way that you should be holding your knife is with like the middle of your palm on the center here, parallel with the knife, and then I just have my index finger on the front right here, and my thumb is there. It kind of feels weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's better. Just in case you don't know, I see people cutting online all the time, and it like kills me. So thumb is like this, index is like that, and that way you have all the control. And you want to be moving the item, not your knife. Your knife is staying in the exact same spot. See, I told you guys, I cannot help but to try to teach stuff. It just can't go through it. Anyways, I'm going to kind of switch up what I was just saying. Once you get comfortable, you can kind of do whatever you want, which is what I'm doing right now. And then the slices are just like this. The slices are like that. It doesn't really necessarily matter. I mean, if you like garlic, you can kind of get like an idea of, you know. Also in his, he has crushed red pepper flake, but I don't really want to eat crushed red pepper flake, so I am omitting it. If you would like to add it, I will let you guys know when that is. You can go ahead and like get it ready. I'm just going to crush this one a little bit so I can crack the edges. And then exactly the same thing. I'm just going to cut off the tip. And whenever you're cooking as well, just keep yourself super organized and super clean. And that way you don't have to worry about where things are, what's going on. I remember when I first started cooking and baking at my mom's, oh my gosh, I used to watch the Food Network all the time, so I would like be concocting all kinds of stuff. And just kitchen would be a wreck, honestly. If Asha's watching this, she'll laugh at that part. And then when there's cuts and like takes and stuff like that, usually people are like rinsing their hands off. So I just have a small bowl right here, and I am just grabbing this gruyere. And like I said, it'll do like a similar thing to what, this is what I use for like pasta all the time anyway. It'll do a similar thing to what Babish was wanting. This is pretty much just like crumbling, so I'm just going to do that. It's because I put it in the freezer, so now it's like been sitting at room temp for a minute. So I actually don't need this, which is perfect. If you have Parmesan or like not frozen cheese, you probably can grate it. And I would say, I think I'm just going to do like 3 tablespoons. No. So I'm just going to crumble up about 1/4 cup of this Gruyere cheese. It's frozen, so I actually don't have to grate it. It's just breaking up super nicely. I just always have gruyere around because I love making quiche, and gruyere is the best anyway. And then I'm gonna go ahead and microplane my zest. And that way I don't have to go too fast doing it over the pot. Some of the essence, oil, will be left on the cutting board, but that's okay. The zest has the most flavor anyway. If you've ever tried to make a lemon dessert and it doesn't have zest in it and you're like, dang, where's the lemon flavor? It's in the zest. So anytime you make lemon dessert, just zest it, even if it doesn't say. And you can just add it to like the flour mixture, it really doesn't matter. Like there's a bit of liquid in it, but not enough. Whenever you're zesting, you just want to do like I'm doing one swipe over the yellow part because the pith is super bitter and you don't want any of it. The pith is just the white part underneath. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to get as much flavor out of this as possible. I love lemon, so this is like an amazing dish for me. I've actually never had this dish, so I'm super excited to try it. Cool, okay. So now our lemon is naked, and we have a lot of zest here. And I'm going to go ahead and slice this in half. What a beautiful lemon. So now I have my sliced garlic, the lemon, and the zest. I also have my cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and set this next to my workstation here. So I'm just going to cut into my editing really quick and let you guys know that I forgot to tell you that you need some parsley. Preferably you need a little bit more than this, but this is what I have, so this is what we're using. So garlic, parsley, cheese, lemon zest, lemon juice, and some olive oil. This is my favorite brand. I always get it at Marshall's. Don't know where else they have it because I can never find it. That's all. Okay, so our dough is nice and gorgeous right now. I wish, like, the texture of this is absolutely beautiful, honestly. So supple, so nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of this leftover flour and sprinkle that around here. And I can put this here, a little bit on top, and that way it doesn't stick. I also have a super nice rolling pin here that my neighbor from my mom's house got me a few years back. So it'll help a lot with the weight of this. I'm just gonna kind of press it with my hand first, make it kind of circular. And the reason it's good to rotate is just to make sure that you're not getting any like thick spots. And you really don't want it to stick. And homemade pasta is always going to be a bit thicker. It's never going to be like angel hair or anything like that. Unless, I mean, it'll just fade away, honestly. Great. I would say the thickness is about 1/4 centimeter. Don't forget the edges. Sometimes it's easy to forget the edges whenever you're rolling something. And you just want to be kind of gentle with it. It's been through a lot. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit more flour here. Okay, so what Babish did in his was he said that it can't overlap with each other. And what he means is that I can't fold it like that because it'll get really weird, and he described it as kinky. So you just want to fold it like this, where each fold is separate from each other and not on top of each other. And I'm just bringing my knife back. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the edge here. And then he made tagliatelle in his. I'm gonna make mine a little bit thinner than tagliatelle. Super similar, honestly. And you just want to do it in one thorough stroke. And then what he did after that was put these into little piles. These guys are so cute. I think it was something like this. Is that still too thick? Maybe. Can't tell. So I'm just having a little bit of fun here, and I am just stretching them out a little bit. And I'm just gonna put them into a little pile like this. And that's our pasta. So what I learned is that I need to roll this even thinner than I rolled it, which is quite surprising because she rolled it thin, but that's okay. There's birds chirping outside. Mitzi's making noises. So I just have two little piles of noodles here. This seems like a lot of noodles, honestly, but your girl like noodles, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this. With some plastic so that it doesn't dry out. And we will move on to the cooking. Okay guys, so the time has come to put everything together. Here I have just a smidge of water because you want to do as little water as possible so that you can get some starchiness from this. I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in here. Usually I would just use iodized salt, but honestly where the camera is right now it's kind of impossible. So I'm just going to use some pink Himalayan sea salt. And you really want that to be salty. If you're using iodized, you can use maybe like a ½ teaspoon of iodized salt. If you're using kosher, it is very similar to that. If you're using like pink Himalayan or another similar salt to that, it's about a teaspoon. And in this, I'm gonna go ahead and put some olive oil, probably 2 or 3 tablespoons, while that starts boiling. And to this, and right now this pan is cold, I'm gonna go ahead and put the garlic in here. Oh, Mitzi's about to come and tell me that she went outside for a little bit. Did you go outside? Did you go outside? So now I'm gonna go ahead and put my heat on a medium-low. And this is where you'd add the crushed red pepper flakes. And the reason we have this so low is because we want the garlic to actually cook and develop flavor without burning. garlic burns extremely quickly. I'm also going to add about a half a teaspoon of crushed pepper. And this is the time that I'm going to go ahead and add my lemon zest. And I'm also going to do the lemon juice. And I'm doing one whole lemon, but he said that you could do a half or a whole, so. It's really up to you what you want. I'm just gonna give this a quick stir. My battery's dying. Okay, so I accidentally added the lemon juice too soon. You're supposed to do it after you put the noodles in. Whoopsies. So I just ended up putting my garlic like in the middle, and it's just been cooking like this for like 5 minutes. I have to talk fast because my camera is dying. I'm going to put a little bit of the parsley in here and save a little bit for garnish. My water is pretty much boiling. This is fresh pasta, so it doesn't need to be like super boiling anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta here. And I'm just going to dump these in here like kind of sporadically, and that way hopefully they don't stick together. And then these are just going to cook for like 30 seconds. For people that have been on my channel for a long time, you already know that my camera dies all the time. I literally am the worst planner ever. And my pasta is shaped a little funny, but that's okay. My camera is so dying right now. Fuck. So I'm just moving this garlic around a little bit because it is getting a little bit brown here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this pasta. And then I'm just going to mix this pretty vigorously to start coating. And another reason I'm using tongs is because I actually want some of this pasta water in a little bit. So I need that to hang out there. Cool. So that's pretty coated. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this cheese. And a little bit of pasta water. You could use like a spoon if you want, but and then I'm just going to cook this together for like a minute or two. So I'm going to go ahead and call that done. This is thickened up super nicely. So I'm just going to put this here. Trying to get all that garlic. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more cheese and the parsley. Okay, so here is the taste test. I definitely made this like super creamy. I think I accidentally added a little bit too much pasta water, but honestly it should taste good either way. It's like super hot and like I said, my camera's dying. I love lemon and I love garlic, so this is amazing. Wow. I definitely accidentally made the pasta like way too thick, but that was my first time making pasta, and the fact that this is even happening right now. And I'm like super hungry too. Mushrooms in this will be really good. Honestly, mushrooms in anything. Definitely tell me how you guys' day is going so far. Mine is going pretty good. Cool. Well, I'm super glad that I tried that. That was really delicious. I know what to do differently next time. It was super fun. Hope you guys had a fun time too. If you made it this far, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you haven't already. And I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. I can't believe that I made it with my battery dying. My battery thing is literally like... yeah.